Okay, it's crazy these days, right? Just nuts. I don't know about you, but I feel like I've got a freeway in my head, all kinds of traffic. But I can help. I've worked long and hard on my mental health, and I've got a pointer or two for you. Hi, and welcome to my channel. My name is Dr. Ellen Wesley, and this is Dr. Ellen's Best Medicine. I'm an emergency medicine physician in Chicago, and my goal with this channel is to make your lives easier. Whether it's lighten your heart or ease your mind, I'm not your doctor, and I'm hoping that I have some information for you because of my years as a clinical doc that can help you see things a little bit more clearly and know when and if you need to go for help and what kind you might need. So the topic of today is mental health during quarantine and a pandemic. When I started to talk about this and when I started to look at all the stuff I wanted to talk about, I realized that this is a multi-part presentation. I'm going to talk a little bit today about the general broad background of worry and anxiety. One of my segments also will be a wonderful friend and professional friend of mine who is an expert in an aspect of child development and specifically regarding parenting and the parent-child interaction. Dr. Lynn Greenberg will be with me to give you some pointers. I'm not a parent. I love kids, but I know that's definitely not an area of my expertise, and I'll be sure to show you. So today I wanted to talk about anxiety and fear. I mean, first off, mental health in general. If you are feeling crazy and you think you might be nuts right now, you're fine. Well, likely you're fine. With all that's been going on, I believe that anyone that does not admit to being with a feeling of being overwhelmed is either not paying attention to themselves or not really telling the truth. It's a very scary time. It's new for all of us, and nobody would say that it's easy if they were honest. So I think in general, one of the things I think to define mental health is mental health to me means dealing with emotions. It means how you deal with your emotions. Part of that means your level of awareness of your emotions, and part of it means what do you do? How do you respond in your intellectual part of your mind when you have feelings? And thinking and feelings, the brain and the heart, as weird as it is, seem to go on two different tracks. And we get taught a lot about how to deal with our thoughts, but not how to deal with our feelings. So, okay, for today, anxiety and worry. Generally, anxiety and worry come out of fear. And fear could be a change from your usual. Fear could be fear of the unknown. Fear could be something that's overpowering you that you don't feel that you can deal with. All of the above, check 1, 2, and 3 for this week. Absolutely, me too. And the place that's important, I think, is to be able to identify those feelings and sit still with them for a little bit, because it's very, very important to break that down. An old saying is one day at a time. There's another wonderful saying that I like, is that you can't eat the whole elephant in one bite. It's really important. I find it helpful to journal when I'm feeling overrun by my emotions, to begin to write write things down in terms of how I'm feeling. And what's important is to see if you can separate the issues. Because worry and fear are natural. But if we don't know how to separate them and focus on them in a way that we can do something about it, they will overrun us, and we can feel paralyzed by worry, fear, and that's what panic does. And we will be, when we're overrun by those feelings, unable actually to be productive, unable to take steps that help us. So the other thing is noticing when we're overloaded. I think that's real important. That's definitely important for me. And take a break. You know, we tend to be listening to the news all day long. Give yourself a limit of how much time you're going to listen, and divert your focus. Think of something else, do something else. Other things like walking around the block, talking to a friend, looking at a television program, playing a game, reading, all those kinds of things are other options. The other thing is that because all of this coronavirus stuff and our quarantine and stay at home and so many people getting sick and so much death and so much new precautionary behavior that we're being taught and told to do, it's all new. And what's really helpful is to have certain things that are in your routine, like get up, make your bed, take a shower. Dumb stuff like that, but having something that's predictable gives you a sense of some routine, and it gives you a little bit better feeling that you're not going to be swallowed up by all this unknown. That's important stuff. So I suggest journaling, making sure you talk with a friend, getting some exercise, even just walking around the block. I've been getting up and doing some stretches, and anything that you can do that focuses on your body will take you away from your obsession with whatever your thought processes are at the moment. It helps. Also, too, it's important to get good sleep. Very, very important to get good sleep. There's something called sleep hygiene, and I will do a separate video on sleep hygiene. I have a hard time with it too, but basically you begin to prepare for going to sleep several hours before you go to sleep. You don't just kind of suddenly turn off your phone and lay down in bed and think you're going to sleep. That's what I do sometimes, and I can tell you it doesn't work. So those are just a couple of things, focusing on fear, anxiety, and some coping behaviors for now. We'll have a couple more segments and talk a little bit more in depth. Anyway, I'm Dr. Ellen Wesley. Thanks so much for tuning in. Again, send questions, subscribe if you find this was helpful. Have a good night. Wash your hands, don't touch your face.